coming out of Korean side. Obviously, they can't pick both of them, but I would have liked to see in the Varus first pick. The reason why the Rise is notable is because Keen has played it in the past.
Yes.
It's nice to see this, of course, a very smart draft that Korea has done in the past is fake the Rise going into the mid lane. Faker, if you know him well enough, you know he'd love to pick the Orianna into the matchup. So, you know, holding on to the pick, it's a key core way of playing on blue side is having multiple flexes so you don't show your hand early.
Now we do see another Ashe pickup for Ruler in the bottom lane. He got to take that against Uzi yesterday, the last time these two teams faced. So it does look like we are getting that delayed bottom lane focus from Team Korea, which will again push the jungle towards a later priority, as it is Ashe Braum out of Ruler and Core JJ. And this was the duo that ended up going down in CS in the previous game just yesterday. However, they were able to land massive engages. Their arrow pressure across the map enabled Keen to split push, enabled Faker to split push on the Rise and collapse and follow up on that. Will trying to fall into the same trap this time.
It's just been a great tournament meta for the Republic of Korea because a lot of their engage focuses come through Ruler, funny enough. Of course, Varus and Ashe have been the go-tos, and then if you're looking towards the supports, we've seen a lot of Alistar, and of course the Rakan being picked up just now by the People's Republic of China. So it works well because a lot of these picks rely on massive setup, so you can actually get the Ashe arrow coming across. And so Ruler has been finding them time and again, has been forcing the enemy teams to pick up cleanse. You already see a cleanse being covered over CA, so that's a fear that you have to have going up against Korea.
And so far it looks like with this Rakan pickup, that's going to send Lulu into the mid lane towards Xie. And Team China already broadcasting loud and clear. We are focused on one thing. Keep Uzi alive. Let him carry for the team. Let him do the work that he needs to. And already Team China banning away champions that can instant kill that Varus in the back line as the Jace and Gangplank are banned away. I'm already getting ahead of myself. But Darius is something we have to talk about, and it's still open for Keen if he wants to take it again.
It's possible. It's only difficult to pick up the Darius if you don't have strong front line. I mean Chinese. Right now the People's Republic of China don't have a front line. Picking up a Lulu makes it so you can pick a little bit more heavy bruisers or AD carries. I would have expected perhaps a Kindred jungle coming out of the People's Republic of China, but of course Xin Zhao coming out means that they want to at least look to press up in the jungle, try and invade a little bit more heavily. Lulu and Xin Zhao is actually a brute force to deal with in the early game.
And that was something that Team China struggled with in their last game, finding that hard engage, a way to force fights open without flanking, because now we know Team Korea are so good at collapsing and denying the vision, denying those flank opportunities. With the cannon lock in for Keen, that will send the Rise into the mid lane and saves that top lane counter pick for Let Me. So it looks like Team China already having learned from their draft, getting him a safer lane and getting him that counter pick, whereas Score will get that Gragas once again in the jungle.
He's been having a good time on the Gragas pick, especially up against MLXG, so he'll have that in mind. Jarvan is going to be the pickup. We haven't seen a lot of Jarvan when it has been picked up, not in the jungle, has gone towards the top side of the map. It's going to happen here today as well, as Let Me has gotten his counter pick Jarvan.
That should be a very fun lane. I mean, that's a great way to deal with the Kennen matchup. Nothing like the Dragon Standard, Dragon Strike knock up into Cataclysm. No Lightning Rush can get you out of that. Setting up a big wombo combo setup from Team China, whereas Team Korea looks like they're going to try to play the same game they did yesterday.
It's so funny that they've gone up against each other so often that the priority is known by Korea. Taking away the Camille, Galio, and Alistar, say, hey, we know that they want a team fight and try and fight us. But the People's Republic of China, the draft does the same thing anyways. The Jarvan ultimate is going to be getting in there. So I want to see if Let Me can be unleashed early on in the game. As they shake hands, of course, getting ready for game one.
We absolutely are, as this is the grand rematch between Team China and Team Korea. This best of 5 on the grand stage of the 2018 Asian Games esports demonstration event. You can hear the fans chanting.
Interwoven too, so you know what? If the games get a little bit rowdy, if someone just throws a hand up, maybe a punch, I wouldn't be surprised.
We're absolutely looking forward to it, because now we are ready to load onto the Rift for this game 1 between the People's Republic of Korea, the People's Republic of China and the Republic of Korea. getting us into game. And this one is so important. This is the one that determines the momentum. Mental state and fatigue going throughout this best of 5 is something that these players are very familiar with, and they have to be on top of for the duration. But that said, we've loaded onto the Rift. The Team China chants taking over for now. But we'll see if those continue as this series continues on. Ming setting up a defensive line with the rest of Team China as we make our way onto the map.
You made a mention, of course, of mentality. Game 1 being so crucial. Throughout the event, it's always been about, it's a best of 1. How are you going to be able to take a Game 1 loss in terms of the best of 3 situations? But if you take a loss throughout the group stage, then you have to be ready, prepared for the next game. So I think this has been a great test to mental fortitude for both of these teams to find themselves in the grand final. They've already passed that test. It really comes down to how do you deal with the lengthier strategizing that comes with a best of 5.
That's what we're going to see throughout the course of this series. Again, we've only just started. We're 90 seconds into Game 1 between Team Korea and Team China. Looks like MLXG getting himself a leash on that top side, and Score looking for the same on the bottom. Now, this Xin is a much more aggressive setup from Team China. It provides a much more straightforward setup and engage if they want to try to find themselves on the offensive, but that was something that was stymied by Score last time these teams played on this Gragas, effectively tracking MLXG around the jungle and denying him opportunities into lanes.
And MLXG knows that. You can already see what's been happening with the pathing, as I make a mention of that. Faker's just trying to say, hey, get off of me, CA, please. But MLXG's pathing, he's foregone the Crux. He's not doing the Raptors. So that's been the usual pathing from junglers going into the red side jungle. You already see that's what Score has been doing. But you already see the Xin Zhao is actually on the map, not doing any of his camps, now going back towards his blue buff.
Yeah, stepped up onto Score to very early on try and turn that matchup around and declare his dominance throughout that course of the jungle. Looks like he did take Scuttle Crab, and there is a defensive ward from Team China on that bottom side. So still, as expected, focusing on Uzi's half of the map as Faker's getting real low here. Xie, he's got himself the flash. That's the Airy, but Faker gets out of range.
Very key rune prison there. He's gonna have to go back to base. You always have to watch out for that because that can snipe you. With the extra bit of damage on Airy, that can always do it. You don't have enough for tier. So coming back onto the map, using his teleport, it's going to be a little trickier.
Yeah, Score looking for a gank in that mid lane, but Xie playing so safe. Knows he's at half health and no mana. Already took the lane advantage and is happy to capitalize on it with a quick recall.
Yeah, all eyes on Score on that one because he wants to be able to support Faker to get a good base timing for his tier. So as long as he stays on the map for the next few minutes, then we're going to be expecting Score to be placing down some key vision or at least pressure around mid, so we can get pushing out. Because it's already a difficult venture here for Faker. Going up against the Lulu, push is not going to be in his favor, as the trade's always going to be on Lulu's.
You can see that constant push already starting to open an advantage for Xie. Meanwhile, we just saw the top lane. Keen on that ranged cannon, happy to trade against Let Me. Already was 16 CS ahead as the wave crashed in, and he's able to step into the river and try and maintain some vision. So it looks like despite getting counterpicked, we're seeing a repeat performance of yesterday for Let Me into Keen up top, as it's already 10 CS down. MLXG is already trying to maneuver around this vision and look for an opening in either mid or top.
And it's going to be the annoying cannon, the one that goes press the attack and Blade of the Rune King, all that nonsense, sticking to a side lane. So 1-3-1 is there for the Republic of Korea. That's what we should be tracking as the game goes on. I was always wondering if it's going to be the Smab cannon or the Keen cannon, AP or AD. So it looks like that's been answered for us.
Even seeing the minion dematerializer in the mid lane, Xie is aggressively controlling this and trying to deny Faker any movement around the map. And that has been what has unlocked Team Korea. The fact that Score and Peanut provide enough threat to allow Faker to maneuver around.
Oh no!
That's Score in the bottom lane. He's found Ming, battle dance backwards, and the heal. He flashes. Score lets him go. Team China escape with their lives this time, but that's 2 summoner spells burnt.
You can already see with the amount of vision that Team China has actually had through the river. They thought they were safe to be walking into the next bush. Not going to be the case. It's always the favorite pathing for Score is actually getting into the lanes through the lane gank. He's always been getting it set up by his side laners. That being said, Xin Zhao is in position.
LXG trying to hover around behind and bait this. There's no flash engage from Ming, and they did just see the stand behind me from Core JJ go up. But MLXG dodging around the vision, and a ward over the wall spots him.
Gonna be a little bit more awkward here for Xin Zhao now. He's cleared up his both sides, blue side, red side. The only thing he can actually take is Krugs and Gromp, and he's a mile away from the Krugs. So for his, his movement right now is just gonna be helping his lanes pressure out. So now Xie's feeling safe. He can actually get a base across. I think right now for Xin Zhao, all he's gonna be really looking for is being able to take his Gromp and then basing himself right.
Now, as we're looking towards this mid lane, Score happy to catch this CS and hold on for Faker. As you said, Xie getting that base with the Dark Seal. That's the Predator being used by Score to bully MLXG away from the Scuttle Crab. Just playing the aggressive game, knowing that Xie is back, and he could have the numbers advantage if Faker were to have recalled in time.
Yeah, and I think that's a Cloud Dragon early on. Is that, no, it's actually Mountain Dragon.
Yes.
There we go. So it's a little bit important. It won't really sway either jungler to try and solo it out early on. So at this point, bot side river pressure is just there so you can get that Silk Road from the mid lane to the bottom lane to either free up Faker or CA. Here we go though.
Flash engage onto Faker, plus the knockup, but Score is there as well. A cast to the side, MLXG onto the turret, gets first blood, but goes down in the 1-for-1 trade. Teleport was started and canceled by Keen as Let Me got the knockup, slicing Maelstrom, and Keen looks for a solo kill and gets it.
I don't know how that top lane started, but you could see who was the victor. Good job to Keen to get the solo kill in his favor. But in the mid lane, actually, Team China was very close to being able to get out of there, but the rogue tower shot getting it. So take a look at this. The perfect engage here, even followed up by the counter gank. Tower shot goes on towards MLXG, 2 of them. So that was the deciding factor of the trade.
In the top lane, Keen teleported in vision of Let Me, who knocked him up and canceled it. That's why we see the full cooldown of that duration. But tragically, Kennen still does a very large amount of damage, even if you do try to knock him up mid-teleport. And it was a quick turnaround that's already setting up that top lane with a 20 CS advantage and that kill. But Team China showing some aggression in that mid lane, perhaps trying to unlock Xie so that he can in turn unlock Uzi.
So I'm surprised that the top lane all-in actually happened, the Cataclysm coming through from Let Me, because the one deciding factor of the top lane matchup is the consistent damage, along with the passive and stun that the Kennen has here. Here we go.
Ooh, that's the challenging smite. She is chunked down to half. MLXG steps up, lands the knockup, and Score bites off too much more that he can chew.
He thought that Faker had a little bit more damage coming through, but gated by his own cooldowns. Now it's going to allow a lot of pressure here from Team China to push out mid. Xie is really feeling it. He didn't die in the last time round, was able to get the full experience, and now is constantly getting the push across.
And take a look at the minimap. Uzi and Ming, with that push pressure we just saw in the bottom lane, were feigning a collapse toward that mid lane, making it even less nice for Faker to try and take an extended siege. China, they might have feigned towards playing towards the bottom lane with these champion picks with this priority, but so far, almost all of their ganks have been towards that mid lane to try and set up Xie.
This is a really good start from China, as a whole from the bot side of the map, because not only is mid lane jungle winning 2 kills on towards the Xin Zhao, as we're seeing a little bit of a war between Let Me and Score.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he wants this. The cask knocks him sideways. Faker is there.
Let
Me has flash, but Let Me's forced to go deep into enemy territory as he's slowed down by this barrel, places a ward, and here comes Keen over the wall at the blue buff. Let Me with a knock-up on the side, Rune Prison, and will inevitably go down as Faker gets gifted the kill.
I'm surprised he didn't just try and go in between the 2 towers. If he can get towards Xin Zhao and Lulu, he is fine, and he has EQ throughout the 2 towers. I just didn't see why he stuck there.
Look at the trade-off. MLXG is trying to take the Mountain Dragon. Hawkshot spots it out, but Uzi and Ming are pushing in the bottom lane. This could very well be worth it for Team China. Inevitable damage on turrets and objectives later if they're able to capitalize on this dragon now.
Yeah, this bottom lane matchup was actually going to be winning for China just based off the mid lane pressure there. So Lulu is doing fine in her lane. Uzi and Ming in the laning phase were actually just doing phenomenally, either freezing the lane on towards Braum and Ashe or just outright pushing. So pure domination in the bot side. While top lane, it's just Let Me not really being able to take the pressure.
Still down nearly 30 CS now as Xie takes a rotation from Faker in the mid lane, trying to heal up with the Dark Seal and Corrupting Potions. But this lane is going to continue to bounce back and forth as Faker is starting to scale up on this rise. The windows of opportunity for Team China to play around Xie and play around this mid lane are getting smaller.
I think right now, if you're CA, you should be leaning. Oh, wait a
They're
second.
actually trying to collapse. MLXG following up from behind. Faker has the flash. He's under the turret. Xie decides not to go for it. The red buff, and he dies. MLXG gets the kill.
Red buff and red smite. You just don't know how much damage is going to be coming through in the calculations, but it's just enough. Nice kill on towards Faker.
And that brings it to 3-3. Still 1,000 gold advantage for Team Korea as they are up 25 CS in the top lane. Slight CS advantage in the mid lane as well. And another advantage for Score. The only lane that's going close to even is Team China in the bottom lane. But MLXG, as you said, with a challenging smite, just loops around.
Ruthless aggression from MLXG. At this point, most junglers would say, hey, let's do deeper vision in the enemy jungle. Maybe look towards a bottom lane fight. But it wasn't going to happen. Red smite, red buff, all you really need to do to get the job done.
That is excellent calculations out of Xie and MLXG on that double knockup. Now Score is trying to sneak the Rift Herald. He's got it down to half and a control ward in the pit, but MLXG places one, sees that it's being done, and is looping around towards the top side. Blast Cone doesn't get him over the wall. Looks like he's trying to collapse on Keen, who will find him in the river, slicing Maelstrom. But there's the Crescent Sweep to reset this. Score steps up as Faker, uses the Realm Warp to collapse in. Cataclysm over the wall, knock up and a teleport. We've got a collapse though, as Ming is on his way. Score running as best he can, but Ming is on the prowl. A good body slam gets Score away, but dies to the Glitter Lance as Xie. He's got Faker pinned against the wall. He's still got Flash, but with nowhere to go. He's going to inevitably drop down to Team China. Over the wall, they chase him from 3 directions. Core JJ follows up. They're trying to commit to this. Faker is trying to play for his life, looking for Let Me, gets the bounce and gets the kill, and ends up trading a 1-for-1.
There is no way for Lulu to coming through there. Didn't have the flash ready, so was just going to be playing across the wall. But just outright aggression from the Chinese squad. It was MLXG that didn't want to give up the Rift Herald, and you can see the problem that was coming through it. Keen had full pressure in the top lane, had it pushed out, and was ready for a fight. But guess what? Spellbook Rakan, baby. He just trades it up, comes top lane, and gets the crucial help to net the kill on towards Gragas.
And here we see that fight once again from the beginning. As you said, Keen steps into the river first.
So 2 problems here. Jarvan's not going to be a part of it for a little bit. Also, Lulu is taking the long way around.
Oh, we see a dive bottom. MLXG chasing Score away, as I believe that was the cask used. And meanwhile, Faker again in the river is being collapsed upon. Score's pressure is denied, and Team China get to collapse on Faker.
Outright numbers game. I know pre-game we were talking about if Let Me was actually going to get pressure free from the lane. Yes, he is. He's in the bottom lane while Keen is taking top lane tower.
Most folks behind the scene were talking about how if China were even able to take a single game, it would be an upset. But right now, they're trying to take an advantage in this game 1, and very well could be on their way to do that if they continue to stymie and keep this aggression. But still, Team Korea take that first brick up top. It's 30 CS and first turret on Keen.
This is what Let Me was willing to give away. Of course, the kill coming down. This is honestly the Republic of Korea starting to play the game of Team China. At this point, usually they would take a step back, recognizing that the numbers advantage is in China's favor, but they wouldn't have to take a fight. They know Keen is taking top lane tower, play it back a little bit, and then you can use his teleport if you're getting dived. Didn't happen. They contested the Scuttle Crab and got baited for it.
That's starting to open an advantage now for Team Korea. They've got that split push, Keen pressure. It has fully come online. Here we get to see that play from the beginning. Ruler, caught by the dive between Uzi and Xie. Score turns it around by getting a kill onto Uzi, but they end up trading back for another kill. Score now fighting over this blue buff. Dragon is spawning in 90 seconds. Xie desperately wants it. The arrow has found MLXG. He eats himself a nice shield, and even a teleport goes in. He goes in for the blue buff. MLXG looks for the knockup, gets the Crescent Sweep, but they are well within the AoE radius. They collapse and kill him. The Score will use a stopwatch to stall this out. Uzi and Ming are up top pushing for a turret to try and trade. Realm Warp onto the mid. They're bringing 3 members. Xie is forced to back away from his own turret, but Keen with the Blade of the Ruined King looking to land one, but Xie is just out of range and escapes, but only just. Meanwhile, Uzi finishing off the top tier 1, the mid tier 1, being pushed by Team Korea and defended by Team China.
I feel bad for the observers, man. This is just pure chaos. Every time we get into the replay, they're like, just kidding, another fight is happening. I don't know what's happening with MLXG. He just went straight in, trying to sacrifice himself for the blue buff. Guess what? You're going to lose it anyways.
He bought a lot of time for Uzi and Ming up top. They took the tier 1, and now they're taking the Rift Herald. Team China, they are trading objectives. It's a bit reckless, but it seems like it's paying off.
Yeah, if they can get this Rift Herald, then yes. It all depends on if there's anyone going to be here to contest, but they're actually doing this one fairly quickly. Dragus is back at base, too.
Blade of the Ruined King shred from that Varus is puncturing through the Rift Herald's health. No smite needed. As Rift Herald picked up by Team China, Xie will happily pocket that as he heads to split push against Faker to try and match that. But still, that other split push on the other side of the map is non-stop. Keen just rolling the pressure onto this bottom tier 1 and keeping Letme busy. As long as Letme is defending a turret, he's not team fighting, and that's what Team Korea want.
Yeah, you can already see with the strategy contrasting between both of these top laners. Letme wants to pull the Kennen towards team fighting. Not effective. All Kennen really can do is have the consistent damage of his auto attacks and maybe the stun of his ultimate, but he can just get blown up, and that's been the case a little bit earlier on. So at the same time, you're right. If Keen can keep Letme underneath his own tower, then it's just a 4v4 that Korea is winning.
They're set to collapse on mid lane, but Team Korea take the safe route back to their turret, walking up into their own vision and not risking a fight over the control ward. The dragon has spawned, but Team Korea do not take the bait to head down into that river, and MLXG will start working through its health. It is just a cloud, so it's not going to do too much. But Core JJ is on the way towards the pit to look for some vision, and Faker, without a teleport, is split pushing up top.
I'm actually usually worried about the Cloud Dragons because they deal the most damage, higher attack speed. Usually it's Cloud Dragon and the Ocean Dragon that I have to worry about because of the slow that comes across it. But of course, as Xin you have the sustain, and you have so much pressure from your adjacent lane, so you don't have to worry about anyone trying to mess with you. So good job soloing it out, and now sets the stage for the next dragon that would come up.
2 dragons to 0. Already Team China with a much stronger performance compared to yesterday's shutout from Team Korea. They seem to have learned their lesson in the semifinals in that second matchup against Team Korea, and now they're trying to bring it on stage. As we get towards the 17-minute mark, it's just maneuvering around vision for the two teams, trying to focus on hitting those core item breakpoints. 2 items on the way for Uzi. Looks like Ruler trying to chase down the same as he's finished off his own Blade of the Ruined King.
I like the fact that you mentioned the items, because both these teams have different motives right now. China wants to speed the game up. They have the Titanic on Jarvan. He wants to get Black Cleaver. And Lulu honestly just has a lot of raw damage based off the Luden's Echo. So for China, get the fights early. It'll work in your behalf. But for Republic of Korea trying to scale up with the tier on Faker, I mean, they want to hold their towers up, but that's not been the case here.
Look at that. The recall was actually canceled by Uzi and Ming. They feign a recall to force Ruler back and end up taking down the mid-tier 1, clearing out the minion wave. Rift Herald is going to step up and get a full charge onto this mid-tier 2 turret for some good damage.
It's good investment, too. The next fight that comes through, if it's a one fight by China, they can take an inner tower now. So it's going to be all on Korea, playing it safely. Getting Faker to a good enough spot, trying to play a 1-3-1, but it's going to be decided on the next fight, honestly, because China's been really pressuring the situation.
And look at the constant side control from Team China. Their willingness to take a fight is forcing Team Korea back. Letme breaks down the bottom tier 1 turret with Team China outside of vision on the top half. They're sacrificing some minions on the top half of the map as Faker pushes it in. Here comes the potential collapse. Team China escorting their carries all the way up to that wave to make sure that there's no risk. But still, Team China, they're equal in gold despite being up in 2 turrets just because of the CS differences between that top, mid, and jungle for Team Korea.
Yeah, and at the very least, you can talk about the CS differences. It's just the side lanes, the solo lanes right now being prepped well by Korea. So Faker pushing up top lane, you're going to respond to him. He's just staying there. It's the Unicorns that love the exile way, where you're just saying, yeah, you're going to collapse on me? Guess what? Realm Orb, I'm out of here. So he's just playing it safe, and he's making it so China, if they commit to a dive, they better come out ahead with it, or they're going to be losing the top side of the map. Remember, 19 minutes in, this also includes the Baron.
Yeah, and he's playing so safe as well, constantly ducking in and out of vision to keep Xie busy in between those minion waves, as he is building towards a Zanya's Hourglass second. So even if Team China wanted to try and collapse on him, Faker feeling a bit frisky, getting some damage onto Xie just to keep him pushed up against that minion wave. They step forward, but here comes Team China racing up the river. They're on the way.
Go.
That's the Realm Warp. Can he silence the flash? And Faker gets away.
So close. Literally all that needed to come through was the W from Lulu. That being said, Keen's on you.
That's Blade of the Ruined King. Let me uses the Cataclysm, slicing Maelstrom.
Get back here.
Puts him in a cage, and the arrow! No way! It hits him from long range, and Keen still gets the kill.
Wow, so well done. Straight through mid lane too. Ruler, the archer, nets the kill, recognizing that Jarvan just wanted to get the hell out of there. You're not doing it, buddy. It's not happening.
Let me had the flash, but didn't react in time, and now the minion wave crashes in bottom. Team Korea are able to use that split push and take the bottom tier 1 turret down.
This is a real issue now. Sure, mid lane is fully controlled by China, but if you're moving straight towards the inner tower, that can be defended by Ruler. That's all right by him, but it's the rise in the side lane, of top lane. And it's towards the bottom lane where Keen is actually getting the pressure down. Of course, CoreJJ having to blow his own flash because he's trying to get the vision when he has no one near him. You just can't make those mistakes there, but didn't get punished too heavily.
And still, Team China are looking for opportunities to punish, looking for mistakes in this play. Here we get to see it once again. Ruler from the mid lane, from downtown, all the way home.
He just didn't see it coming. He was so confident that he had gotten out of there. He was like, there's no way you're catching me, buddy. Of course, that's not the case. So really well done by Ruler to net the ultimate.
And now it's 1,000 gold lead for Team Korea. As you said, we've passed the 20-minute mark, so Baron is up. If Team China continue to make mistakes like this, that could be a very explosive ending to the game if Team Korea are able to play around it. But right now, they're just trying to control vision. They're trying to control their waves and enable Keen to split.
It just means that, as you're right, it's a ticking timer that China's playing off of. You have Baron pressure, you have mid lane pressure, but you have to either burn it or find a pick fast because Keen's in the bottom side of the map threatening your inhibitor tower. That's the worry that you currently have, is that he is going to be able to chip down those towers and Jarvan's not going to be able to do too much about it.
There's some very big engage from Team China. Grand entrance over the wall from Ming, but he doesn't find Score or CoreJJ. Top is even in push. Faker has got his Realm War back up. Team China just moving back and forth, looking for an opening, clearing out the wards of Team Korea.
And this is one that's crucial to keep it calm in communications, because at this point, Letme must be pointing out that something needs to be happening now. Tower is being chipped out. Just looking for a pick on towards Ruler. He doesn't have cleanse at all, so throw an ulti his way, and it will hit.
Now they're trying to push up into the mid lane. Score caught on the side. Ming is sped up. They're pushing up to this mid-tier 2. Team Korea don't want to fight this, and they have to sacrifice the turret.
Faker's up top lane too. He has to base if they want to defend this inhibitor tower.
That's the Predator from Score. He might be feigning an engage. Ruler has got the arrow, but decides not to fire it.
The call is for them to stay in their own lane. It's Ryze that's hiding. As long as they feel comfortable, he will stay in lane to fight.
That's Ming going in, the chains of corruption. They get the knock up on the Score. He's low and dies. Uzi's attack homes and follows. CoreJJ gets knocked up, tries to use the Glacial Fissure, stalls it as best he can, but still goes down. And Team China, they don't want the inhib. They're looking for the Baron.
All eyes on towards Baron. You can't make a mistake on that one, but Ryze has got the top lane, and Keen is keeping steady bottom lane. But this is a massive win for the People's Republic of China.
They're absolutely calling this play. Faker's pushing up to the inhibitor turret. Letme will sacrifice the bottom tier 2 to Keen to allow Team China to take this Baron 23.5 minutes in.
And sure, some gold might go into the pockets of Korea just by taking the side lane towers, but this was so incredible. Ming was lying in wait, finds Score, and at that point, Braum is ready. He wants to defend the Gragas, and by that point, I mean, Ruler already sees the chaos in front of him. He's not going to be able to touch it. So the major win of getting Baron here means that split push doesn't work anymore. I mean, Lulu's going to sit in side lane, Jarvan's going to sit top, and at the very least, you cannot push these minions because they are stacked. So it's going to be on Korea to try and defend the mid lane inhibitor tower. They're going to have to play a little bit risky now.
A wave is starting the slow push for Team China bottom. Already Letme with teleport is heading up top, and it looks like Team China are there to support him and break down that tier 2, open up the map even more, and allow for their own split push to try and match. But Score and Keen are already on their way towards the mid lane. Looks like Faker's heading top to deal with Letme, but it's a 1-4 split from Team China, and MLXG just needs to pick which side he wants to go towards.
Ardent Sensor being picked up by CA, so they're not apologetic at all of what their strategy is.
Oh, the arrow goes in between, but still hits MLXG. And as 5, Team China, they dodge the primary initiation of Team Korea.
But look at the top lane wave. The mid lane wave is about to follow, so they're now escorting the mid lane wave so they can dive here. No enchanted crystal arrow from Ashe makes it a lot easier. And remember, MLXG still has stopwatch too, so he could be the primary mode of initiation.
You can see Korea trying to clear out the minions before they crash into the turret as Team China, again, they set themselves up, they take their time, not risking it without making sure they've got the proper setup. Let me escort the minions up top as MLXG and Xie clear out these wards here. Faker over the wall. They're all grouped up, but they are spotted out. Team China does not take the bait, still the push onto the tier 2. And the minion wave crashes in. Team China will be able to break this turret down.
And you will never know where Team China's going next. The control wards they placed, it made it difficult for Republic of Korea to ever find out where they're heading. So they can go mid lane, they can stay top lane. All you need to do is keep yourself top side. No one can go bottom lane because at this point, you have to respect it.
Now they're setting up towards that bottom wave. That slow push is starting to pay off as it's building into that massive turret. Keen was on that side of the map, but has to back away because of the collapse from Team China as a 5-man unit.
Massive.
They are about to stack up onto this turret. There's one barrel to try and clear things out, but Uzi steps up unhindered, and the turret is broken. 6 turrets to 4, and Team China still have the Baron.
You have to draw the lines towards your inhibitor, because remember, this was the bot side. Next Baron that comes up, suddenly it's free game for China. You have to defend this inhibitor in the bottom lane.
That barrel will explode and clear most of it out. Ming goes for the battle dance onto Uzi, but no grand entrance yet. Baron is about to wear off.
That's a massive shield.
There's only a few seconds left before the duration. Chains of Corruption, the arrow onto the front line. Uzi uses a cleanse, and MLXG using the Crescent Sweep, but Uzi's on the far side. They've left Let Me. He goes into the front, but it's Team China in the back as they take a trade onto Keen.
Trading top laners there, but here comes the round warp.
They're about to collapse. This is Team China getting collapsed upon. Score steps forward, but Uzi is free-firing down the corridor. Core JJ goes low, Score backs it up, and that's MLXG dying. Uzi will drop as well, and Team China win the fight.
Such a slim corridor, and hats off to Core JJ throwing up the wall, so there was no follow-up on the engage that came through from the Rakan. Excellently played from the Republic of Korea.
And now they've got 20 seconds on the clock to push and take whatever turrets they can. It's up to the inhibitors in both top and bottom, but with Core JJ taking these minions, they're going to finish off the mid-tier 1 instead, as Faker is happy to take aggro on this nice and tanky rise. And Team Korea, 5 turrets to 6, going head-to-head against Team China and showing that even in the darkest night, they can still find the dawn.
A massive sigh of relief knowing that they took off Baron off of all 5 members off that team wipe. So there we have it. And remember, a crucial point, the Magi's that Lulu had is gone now. You would probably just sell it at this point. Look at the wall that Core JJ set up. There was no way for Uzi to actually step up, and when he did, exhaust was still on his head. So completely nullified. The strategy that they had could not go further.
Yeah, Core JJ putting up the door, a late flash and a late exhaust to absolutely nullify it. And you can see how Uzi's now modified his build, completing the Runon's Hurricane so he can hit multiple targets. Magi's still on Xie, as you said, at 4 stacks, so not quite as worth it anymore. But still, Team China, they're only down 2,000 gold and are still trying to maneuver around the map. They've got a very strong team fight if they're able to take it as 5.
Yeah, their strategy's still active. They just can't find themselves in that slim corridor anymore. In fact, if you do find yourself in that fight, play it a little bit slower. You don't have to go all in on the situation. I know it's tempting because you have Xin Zhao and Rakan, but at this point, with how buffed up this Varus can be, he's the one you have to play around. He's dealing the most damage at this point, and he's incredibly safe with how large that shield is really on him. So with how this game's starting out, China has to play around Uzi.
They're certainly trying to. Baron is spawning in 90 seconds, but Keen, he doesn't need to split push right now because he's already set up a wave bottom. It seems as though Team Korea might be able, or even willing, to take a team fight against this Team China roster as they push a wave up mid. And Team China, with a quick recall to reset their wards, reset their vision, are about to move back onto the map and start trying to take control of the Baron pit. Yeah,
also kind of caught with their pants down a little bit just because Ryze pushing up mid can do a substantial amount of damage with the build that he has now. Rabadon's death cap on that mid lane tower, so mid lane completely pushed in. They have to be in a defensive position.
Uzi finishing off his own Guardian Angel, trying to match the damage of that Ryze with the Rabadons. Score going full tank on the Gragas, Gargoyle, Stone Plate, even Core JJ trying to do the same with that Zeke's Convergence. It's all down to the damage. It's all down to the numbers of how this next team fight is going to go. And whether or not Korea can find a pick beforehand and deny Team China that 5v5 they so desperately want.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they're just playing for it, right? MLXG and Let Me, both of them getting gargoyles, just means that fight, when it ends up happening, if they can get the value off of it with 3 members nearby, then they can be real frontliners. The HP does matter at that point, so we'll have to see if that ever happens.
And still Keen split pushing in the bottom lane. Again, coming back to this same song and dance, keeping Let Me away from his team, but that's Chains of Corruption. The arrow has found Uzi. He cleanses back. That's a teleport from both of the top laners, but already Core JJ is dead. Ming steps out. MLXG denies it as best he can, but look at the shield. Uzi steps up. He finds himself a kill onto Faker. Now they're chasing it down. Ruler tries to go golden, but he's got no chance of getting out of this one as Team China. They sacrifice MLXG, but find themselves 3 kills. Score on the side, stalling it out, trying to look for a way to get behind and deny the minion wave, but Team China are looking for the inhibitor.
It's a cannon wave too, so you know what? It doesn't matter if you deny the next wave. You have to take the cannon away from them. At this point, yeah, get out of here, buddy. That's a lot of waves. That's
keeping those minions busy, and it is only the cannon pushing into the turret, but Team China are still moving forward. 20 seconds on the clock for Faker, 25 for Ruler, but they take the inhibitor and open up this mid lane.
So crucial for them to adapt on the fly in that team fight and recognize playing it slower, beefing up your front line so you can play around Uzi's damage is how you wanted to play it out. Sure, Core JJ brought up the wall, and it stood for a long time. But the moment it went down, that's when China struck.
Here you can see Ming gets slowed, and Uzi just lands the snare. Even though Ruler lands the arrow, he just does so much damage.
But take a look at this. It was Xin Zhao denying so much with his own ulti. Even gets the Lulu ulti to back him at this point. The moment Brahm's shield goes down, they go all in.
Faker is turning onto the Baron along with Team Korea. They've already got it down to half health. Team China are looking for a way in. Let Me is grouped with his team. But Team Korea looks like they're just trying to bait this fight. They know some of the cooldowns on Team China and are happy to try and play around them.
Yeah, pushing mid is crucial here for Team China because you're on a ticking timer. You can't stay towards Baron any longer. I think they're going to play it risky. You have to play it desperate and try and burn it down.
They're all behind the pit, maneuvering around the preset vision for Team China. They get into the pit. They're burning it down to half. Let Me is racing there. It's already down to half health. Ming gets a ward over the wall. MLXG steps forward as Core JJ tries to separate this. Piercing arrow gets some good damage onto Core JJ, but now it's Team China taking the Baron. The arrow has found MLXG. He's slowed and Cass knocks him back in. Crescent Slash to try and reset this. Let Me steps forward with a big cataclysm. MLXG goes in, and that's all the AoE. Uzi is exhausted, but does he have enough damage? They're trading. Keen steps up, and he goes down. Uzi finds another kill. He flashes forward. Keen goes down. A triple kill to Uzi as he chases down Team Korea.
They can just push down the mid lane wave. These are longer death timers now. This could be the crucial win for them.
Super minions are already on the Nexus turrets. Team China walking through the inhibitor wave as Let Me prevents the recall. And Team China turn onto the Nexus. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a series on our hands as Team China take game 1.
So decisive. The squad played around Baron. Hats off to Korea, they recognized they had to play a Baron fight. Unfortunately, the moment the Jarvan Cataclysm goes down, there's no way Kennen could get the stun necessary. He was completely out of the fight. The moment you play around a 4v5, that's it. Varus is doing the damage, Uzi played it wild.
And Team China, it was a risky composition, taking the 1-4 against Team Korea's 1-3-1, playing that team fight style against Team Korea, and able to find the openings. No hesitation this time, and it pays off with a Game 1 victory. Still, though, if these are the 2 best teams of the greater Asia region, this is going to be a great best of 5.
Yeah, it's going to be sick. Honestly, this is where a best of 5 really does matter. The strategizing going into game 2, because the Rakan was